Hello guys, in this quick tutorial we'll be seeing how to create a very basic quotes app. As you can see on my screen, so this is what we're going to create today. Okay, so it has a quote, it has an author, and what is the quote is all about. So this is what we're going to see. How do we create this? And we will be creating this using Node, Express, and EJS, right? Okay, so the very first thing that we will need is Node.js. So we need to install Node first. So you can go to the Node site and then, based on the operating system that you have, you can install it for Windows or for Mac OS. Okay. So once that is done, then we can start creating the app. Okay. So you need a code editor. So I'm using Visual Studio Code for the coding, and let's start creating a project. So once you have the Node installed, we can go to the Okay, once we have the node installed, we can go to the Node.js command prompt from here. So let's start by creating a new project. So I'll go to my folder where I want to create this project. Okay. So we will create make directory node, and inside we'll go to node, and then we will make a directory for our codes app. Then we will go to codes app. So the first thing that we will need to create is the package.json file. So in order to do that, we will run npm command, npm init. Okay. So in case if anybody doesn't know what is a package.json file is, so basically it's a plain JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, which is a text file which contains all the metadata information about the project that you're creating. So in this case, we are creating a codes app. Okay, and to create that, we have used an npm command. So in case what is npm empty, npm uses this package.json file information about Node.js application or Node.js package details. Okay, so this is basically a Node stands for Node Package Manager, npm. Okay, so it's basically a registry of softwares providing a specific functionality through packages. Okay, and packages can contain one or more modules. All right, so let's start creating this. So it's asking me the package name, so I'll just keep that as default. Version is 1, so I'll just keep on and press enter. The entry file is index.js, it's fine. There are no test commands, no Git repository, there are no keywords. And author, you can give your name. I'm giving it my name here. License fine. So this is giving me a quick summary of what all details my package.json will contain. So if I'm okay, I'll press yes. So it will have created my package.json. So if I have to open this folder in my Visual Studio Code, I can write code followed by dot. Dot means the current directory. Click on trust it, and then so you can see my package.json file is right here, and these are the inputs that we have created, right? Okay. So okay, now the next thing is let's create the folder structure. So I'll just create my src folder, which is a source file folder, which will have all my files there. So let's create index.js. So that's what we have mentioned here. So this will be my entry point. So index.js. Okay, and index.js and this thing. Yeah, right. Okay, so the in order to test this, so I'll just see if it works. So I'll just say console.log, and then I'll say hello index file. Okay, I'll save this. I can go to my command prompt and I can say node to run my node files, and it is there in my source folder index.js. Now you can see I can see my console.log output here. So so the stuffs are working. So what we'll do is we will, okay, let's go to the blog and let's see what is the next step. Okay, so the next step is we have created the package.json file. Now we need to install some of the dependencies, which is Express and EJS. So in order to install a dependency or the packages, we'll have to use npm install command. So let's start with Express. Okay. And let's start with let's install EJS. Okay, so we have installed these two packages, and it should be coming under the dependencies section of my package.json. So these are the dependencies packages. So whatever we installed, it will be listed under dependencies package section. Okay, so now this thing is done. So let me go to index.js and we will start the coding for this. So first thing is I need to create a data. So the data for the codes will be coming from a file which is there on the server. So for that, I will create a folder here, data, and I will include the file. Okay, I'll include the file which is my data.json. So I'll just say okay, so I'll have to drag it from my file here. So this is the codes file. I'll include this and add it here. Okay, so this is the format of the JSON file. It is having only two sections, which one is the text, which is the code, and one is the author. So basically, who is saying this code. So this is a very simple JSON file, data file. So this is there in my this thing. So the first thing that we will be needing is Express. Okay, so first thing is we need to import our modules. So to importing our modules, we will have to call the require function. So for that, we will have to first bring in Express. Okay. Before doing that, if so basically what is an Express? So you can say that it's a free and open source Node.js web application framework. Okay, it is built on top of Node.js, built-in HTTP module, and Express helps us to set up routing and handle the request and response cycle. So we will see this how the Express helps in routing and this thing. So we will configure the route here. Okay, so first thing is we'll have to bring in Express. Let's say const Express is equal to require. So the Express is it is not globally available within Node, so it's an external package. So we have installed it and we are using it like this. So said all this dependent file for Express will be inside the Node modules folder. If you see here, we have not created this folder ourselves manually, but when we install any packages, so it will install the packages and it dependencies files under node underscore module folder. Okay, so we have imported the Express module, and then the next one is, so in order to read the file from this, so we'll be making use of a file system package. So we will say fs and let us import that. Now this fs is a globally available module, so we have not installed it. So it is coming. It will come by default with Node. Okay, we'll say fs. Okay. After this, so we'll have to see. So what we are creating here is basically the backend server, where which will render the page from the server to the client. So uh, we'll have to configure that on a port. So the server has to run on a port. So let us give the port number here. So we will say constant port is equal to, let's say I want to run it on 5000. Okay, and then after declaring the port, we will have to initialize the express. So let us create, actually we have to do it out above that. So let's say constant app is equal to express. Okay, so it will initialize everything that express needed, and it will come to this variable app, and then we have the port defined. Now we have to listen to the request coming for port 5000 from the client. So we can do that by saying app dot listen. The first parameter is the port, so we'll supply the port. The second one is the callback function. So what do you want to do? Basically, what we want to display when the server starts. Okay, so we'll just mention saying that our server have started. So that we know that everything is, so the server is running. So we say that server on port 5000. So let us save that and let us try to execute this and see whether everything is fine. So for that, we have actually done this previously. So let's see this. Okay, so then the server is now listening on port 5000 and it is actually waiting for input. So that's why it has not come out of the program. So it will keep on listening to the request. Okay, so this is supposed to be fine. So let us stop this by pressing Control C. So now our so basic structure is ready for our server. So the next thing is what we need to do is um, we need to read the file, right? So before writing the file, reading the file, so let us configure the root route. Okay, so let's see that. Let us run our server once again, and then in order to go there, we'll have to type localhost 5000. And once I do that, it is not displaying me anything, obviously, because we have not configured the root route, right? So let us do that. So in order to do that, we have to use app.getRequest. So basically it's a get request for which route, for the root route, right? And then we have to write a callback function. So we can write it like this. It will have the request and the response object. Okay, so let us say hi, hello to our folks connecting. So let us send it. Let us send the output like this. Spawn.send saying the from Express servers. The message. So just to let people know that we are getting this response from the server. Okay, it's not coming up. Okay, so the next, it's not coming up because I need to restart the server after I make any change here, right? So let us restart this. I press Ctrl C again and let us run it again. Yes, so this is the request. This is the message which is coming back from the server. Now, while doing development, it becomes very tiresome to make changes and restart your server again and again to reflect your new changes. So what you can do is you can make use of a helper package which is called NodeMon, okay, which will done the restarting for you. So in order to do the NodeMon, you need to install it because it's an external package. So you can say npm install NodeMon, and then it is actually a not actually a dependency. It is actually a development dependency because I will be using it for development, right? Once the application goes live, the NodeMon will have no use because it is usually meant for restarting the server, right? For any file change. So in order to install any development dependency, we have to add some extra parameters to this command, which is --save -del. So I think it should add it in the dependencies, development dependency. Yeah, so if you see here, so NodeMon is added to the dev dependencies. Okay, so when we are deploying this application to production, even if NodeMon is not there, it will not throw an error or because it is a dev dependency, not application dependency. Okay, so now what will happen is it will automatically restart my server, right? So before doing that, what we have to do is we have to make these commands available, like how we have used node, right? So these commands available in my package.json so that I can run it directly from here. So in order to do that, I can go to the script section and add those commands. So I can say start is the default tag, which means this what when we say npm start, what should happen. So I'll say node and source, and I'll give the source file name here, this one. Okay, so and comma. So what will happen here is, let me save that and show you. So earlier we were directly executing this command, right? So instead of doing that, now what we can do is, and once we after we add the scripts here, we can directly run the command saying npm start, or actually it's npm run start, but since the start is default, we can let go of run, so we can directly write npm start. So either way, way you write it, run it, right? So it will execute the command which we have written adjacent to start, and so it will execute this command and it will run the server. Okay. But what I want to do is I don't want to run node, because again, if I do that, I have to run restart my server again after after I make any changes in the file. So what I'm adding here is I'm adding one more tag called dev, and here I would say I would write the nodemon command here. So let me say nodemon source index.js. Now if I run instead of start, if I say dev, it should be executing my node command, so which will restart my server whenever the file changes. So let me say npm run. So now instead of start, I will have to say dev. Okay. So now if you see, it is executing command nodemon, and it is saying that watching file path, this thing. So if I make any changes, it will automatically restart the server for me. So let's try that. So instead of hello from server, I'm just saying an exclamation mark, and if I just say control save, it will automatically restart the server. So it will detect that the index file have changed, and it will automatically restart the server. Okay, so hopefully my dot should be replaced with exclamation mark. It did. Okay, so that is working. So now, since this thing is okay, so now what I have to do, I have to read the JSON file from here, and then so that I can display it over here, right? So let us do that. So instead of, so for that we will have to make use of fs module. So let me say data equal to fs dot. Now it has a function called read file. We'll be making a synchronous process here, and here I have to mention the path of it. Okay, so for the path I can say, so the path basically I can say like this, right? So current folder slash data slash appears. Okay, and this is my path, and then there are some options here, so I have to say encoding into UTF-8, and that's it. So what this will do is it will read the file and assign it to this variable. Okay, so let me make another const which is quotes. Now I have to convert this file into JSON. So there's a utility method here saying JSON.parse, and I can pass my quotes data here, which will convert this into a JSON object and give me this quotes. So let us write here console.log and see if it works. Let me save it. Let me see if there's any error. No such file. Okay. So there are chances that even if this works, right? So in this way, what happens is if you move the data file from here to outside this thing, so it will generate an error. So we can make use of another utility, which we can make a use of another module called path. Okay, so path is equal to require path. Okay. Now in this path, I can give something like this. Let's say this. Let's say path dot join. Now in this join, there is a global variable called dash dash directory name. This is in this variable the directory name of where it will list down the directory name of the project. So it will be like it will have a source. It will have reference of the source. Okay, and then I can say join slash, and here I can mention the path saying dash slash yeah. So it has found the folder, it has found the file, and it is printing in the console like this, right? So it's a JSON object, so it's fine, it's working. Let me comment that out. Okay, so let me try sending. So I can send this codes here also, right? So what it will do is it will print the JSON in this way, right? Okay, so this is not the way we want. We want it, in a nicer way. So let's okay, so let's do that. So for that, now the next step is basically to use EJS, which is for the templating engine. So to do that, what we can do is in our source folder, let's create another folder called views. And in this view, let me create a folder called index, and the EJS file I have to create here. So the extension is EJS. So in this EJS, I can write my basic HTML, which will be rendered on the home page. Okay, so for testing purpose, let me write h1. Come to my application. Okay, So in order to call my EJS file whenever for a particular request has come, so I have to change this. So instead of response.send, there's another method called render. So render will actually render a EJS template. So response.render. So in this render, I can give the name of my file, which is the index. I can say EJS, but even if I don't do it, it will auto recognize it. Okay. Yeah. Let's try this, see what happens. Okay, so now it is generating an error here, which is saying that there is no default engine specified. So in order to use EJS, we have to do some couple of things. So the first thing is we have to tell Express that we are using EJS. Okay, so let's do that. So let us go to the code and let me write here. So we can say we can notify Express by saying app, which is the object of Express dot set. So set is a method where I have to tell that I'm using EJS as my view engine. So I will say view. It is in small case. View engine is EJS. Okay. So let us save that and let's see if it works. So it is failed to look up view. So it is basically not finding the view directory, right? So the next step basically is we have to tell that where is my view directory. So again, I can say app dot set. In this case, I have to say views and then followed by followed by my path of my views folder. So I can say path dot join directory name and views. So now I have told my Express that where is my view folder and which type of templating engine I'm using here. So now hopefully it should display me the message from my EJS template. Yeah, it is doing that. So that is working, which is good. Okay. All right, good. So this is working. All right. So the next step is basically to I need the codes data here in my EJS template so that I can render it over here, right? So for that, I can pass that codes data as in my second option, a second argument. So in this, I can mention as quotes. So basically, this is my the name by which I'm passing, and then this is my data. Quotes. So this is how you pass the data to your EJS template. Now, how do I access that in my EJS template? So let's see. So now in the EJS template, if if you want to refer any JavaScript variable or object, you have to use a special syntax here. So you'll have to use something like this. So now if I give the name of the codes and refer it here, so let's see what happens. Okay, nothing is happening. That's fine. So now what I have to do is I have to display. Now this codes is basically it contains an array, right? So it's basically a JSON document. So it has multiple elements to it. So in order to do that, we have to loop around it and then display the content of that. So how do we do that? We can do that using for each statement of the codes. So I can say like this, each in the codes I have to now loop around with one of the element. So I'm just giving a name here called quote function, and then my opening of the bracket. Now I have to close this and then close my brackets here. So this is my loop, and if I give something like hi here, so let's see what happens. Is it now just to check whether my for each is working? Yeah, so it is displaying me static text for each element, but I have to replace it with my quotes data, right? So if you go to the quotes data, so we have something like text and then the author. So in order to do that, I can make a div here, and I can say author. Who's the author? So now to get the author from the quote, I can make use of same less than percentage greater than, and now here if I have to render the value, I can say is equal to, and then then I have to say quote dot author. So this is how the quote dot author is author. Okay, fine. So this, and let's see if I'm able to see the author. Yeah, so this is working. So similarly, what we need is the text, right? So do that by saying quote, and then same thing, percentage is equal to percentage greater than quote dot text, because we want to render the text of the quote, just this text. So I'm mentioning this as text. Okay, so now I'm getting what is the author, what is the code and all, right? So it seems to be working. Now I have to give a title here. So basically this is hard coded, but I want this text also be passed. So how do I do that? So I can pass multiple items here. So I can mention as I can mention here as comma, and then let's say I want to give it a title as title, and the title is yeah, quotes, and then this one. So now for the title, I can mention it as this, and it should change my welcome to the application to I modified it. Okay, I think something is wrong. Okay, I think there's a mistake that I've done. So instead of there should not be any comma here. I mean, there should not be a bracket. I can mention it here, and now it should work. Yeah, it's working. Okay, so our data is now rendering. Now the next thing is basically we need to format these documents. Okay, so the format is basically I'm using a bootstrap and a style.class class. So in order to bring it here, so I'll just copy my folder, copy my public folder. So this is there in the public folder. Let me import that. I'll show you what is the inside. So in this public folder, I have like an image which I'll be using for my putting it on my banner, and then I have a CSS file in my CSS file, this is my custom CSS file, and this is a bootstrap file that I've added. Okay, so in order to let Node know which is my public folder, which should be accessible from everywhere, anywhere. So I have to add it as a middleware here. Okay, so I have to say app dot use, and I can say express dot static. This is how you tell Express that these are my static folders and files. So in this case, anything which is there in public will be as a static. So I'll just mention the path here. So path dot join, then directory name, okay. So now I have done this. So let me paste my EJS from my already created folder just to shorten the time. Since we have already understood this, so this will be very easy. Okay. So I've just used bootstrap classes here just to bootify it, and I'm here linking my CSS file like this. So this would work because on the home page this will work because this is because we have added this line here. Okay, so whatever there in the public folder, we can directly access it using hash folder and then what we need here. Okay, so now it is working. So that's it on this demonstration. Hopefully you are able to, I was able to make you guys understand how this works. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you.